اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح
اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح
ہے رضائے ذات باری اب رضائے قادیان.
This room is called Kamra-e Pedaish, which translates the birth room. Now this was the actual room that the promised Messiah and Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian, was born. Now this room is Baitul Riyaza, which means the house of devotion. The blessings that he had achieved, not even in a dream, but in complete wakefulness, he used to see the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Masjid al-Mubarak. Another name for Baitul Zikr, which was extended by the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam in his own lifetime in 1907. This is called Shah Nashin, which is the royal seat. Now this is where the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, after Maghrib prayer, would sit with his companions and have a sitting, have discussions, and he will share his pearls of wisdom with them. The household of the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam used to have a ground level and an upper deck. Now whenever he used to come to the mosque, to Masjid Mubarak, from the ground level, he used to come from this small window that was constructed specifically for that. So he would come from downstairs through this small window, and he would walk through into Masjid Mubarak for his prayers. Now, as the Promised Messiah ﷺ was known for his extensive writing and his defense to Islam and propagating the message of Islam, he wrote many books in his very household, and this was one of the places that he used to write books. Now, there used to be a hole in the wall, something like this, which used to be in this room, where he would put an ink pot on one side and another ink pot on the other side. So as he would move from this place, he would put his pen in the ink pot and he would write. As he's walking and thinking and reflecting, he will be writing his books. And as he gets to the other end of the room, again, by that time the pen must have dried up, he would dip it again into another hole in the wall which had the ink pot in it, and he would continue writing. So this is how he would move from one corner of the room to the other corner as he's writing books and other literature in defense of Islam and for the propagation of Islam. On 13th March 1903, the Promised Messiah ﷺ got this small room built specifically for prayer, for God Almighty to bless him and his arguments and writings that he would do in the service of Islam. This room was specifically built to pray for this mission to succeed. And he prayed to God Almighty to bless this room and name this room Baitul Dua, that is the prayer room. Now this part is Baitul Zikr, where in 1883, based on divine revelation, God Almighty revealed to the Promised Messiah ﷺ that he has granted him a place of worship, which is known as Baitul Zikr. Now initially this was a small room, a small mosque, where only 6 people could fit in one row, and it could take a total of 32 to 33 people at one time. But later in 1907, before the demise of the Promised Messiah ﷺ, he got this room extended. Now God Almighty himself has told him, based on divine revelation, that this place is blessed, and whoever enters this place with a clean heart will be protected by God Almighty, and blessings will be showered on him. Now right behind me is Masjid Al-Aqsa. Now the foundation stone of this mosque was laid by the revered father of the Promised Messiah ﷺ, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Murtaza. It was completed the following year in 1876, and it was in this very mosque that the first Jalsa Salana, the annual gathering in the history of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, was held in this very mosque on the 28th December 1891, and it was attended by 75 people. This minaret started during the lifetime of the Promised Messiah ﷺ, and it was completed in 1916 during the reign of the second Khalifa, Hazrat Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmad radiallahu anhu. Now in a place called Bahishti Maqbara, or the heavenly graveyard. The promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam was told by God Almighty on divine revelation that he will be in a place called Bahishti Maqbara, or the heavenly graveyard, in which those special members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community will be buried, who will sacrifice their wealth and themselves for the propagation of the message of Islam. When the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave a prophecy about the coming of the promised Messiah and Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, he also said that we should send his salam, his greetings, to the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. And the promised Messiah, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian alayhi salam, when he passed away in 1908, was buried in this very place. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am now at a place called Maqam Zuhur Qudrat Saniya in Bahishti Maqbara, Qadian. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave a prophecy about the establishment of Khilafat. When the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam passed away, his body was put at this very place right behind me on the 26th of May 1908. The first Khalifa, Hazrat Hakim Maulvi Nuruddin radiallahu anhu, came and placed the body here with all the believers, and then he came to this very position, and the people that were present at that time joined his hands and they took initiation, and he officially became the first Khalifa of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat.
اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح.
Welcome back to the studios, our dear viewers. As we promised you before, we